Welcome back, y'all. We're getting ready for Game 2 between Dignitas and Shopify Rebellion. And if you missed it, Shopify just picked up their first win of the Summer Split. They looked damn good doing it. And now I want to get the chat involved, Isaac. Polls at the ready. Can Shopify close this series out? Can they find their first series win of the Summer Split?
I think they can. I mean, honestly, they drafted better. They played better in game number 1. I think they really look strong in that first game against Dig. And if I'm on Dignitas, I'm sweating. I don't want to be the team that loses to Shopify. No one has done it so far. You know, they had lost 8 straight games. Now they get their first game win. Now they're looking for their first series win. And again, that also means that Dignitas then is tied with them in the standings. Boogie seems to have really led to a kind of a resurgence here for Shopify. They were much more competitive last week. They did lose, but now getting their first win. I also think, though, a lot of that game really was about the draft. I feel like Dignitas got outdrafted pretty heavily. I felt like Poppy and Lilia were both very useless as the final picks, coming out from Dig. I feel like a Morgana or something, even with all the junglers that were banned, if you want to go AP jungle, would have been much more effective. Lilia, when it's against so many range champs, really struggles. You know, Morgana having the Black Shield against Ashe engage, against Leona engage and whatnot, I think could have helped a lot with how often they were actually getting picked. And just has a lot easier time of kind of like fishing for damage. But either way, they kind of went with this comp that I feel like was very reliant on them getting pretty far ahead. And then Boogie put their bot lane so far behind that it was just really tough for Dig to do much of anything after that. Jensen was like farming fine, but they were basically like a one-threat Corki comp without really a good way to dive, and you also can't play front to back, and you also don't have a really good pick. So it was kind of, I just felt like Dig didn't give themselves a lot of options on how to win that game. Yeah.
Well, Game 2, draft has begun. Can be a completely new look for Dignitas as they pick themselves up after what happened in Game 1. And already with the Corki lock-in, they're still going back to one of the things that they tried in Game 1. But maybe on the second rotation, after Shopify runs it back with Leona Brand, we can see something different.
I always just find bands like this kind of funny, where it's like, kind of just reminds me of us playing Flex Queue. You just get slammed by something, and then just ban out everything that beat the last game. You're like, we didn't play bad. It was the Zeyzal that was the problem. It was the Ashe that was the problem.
I couldn't dodge those arrows, man.
Yeah, like, just get those out of there.
They're homing missiles, dude. Now, Dignitas, Zyra, and Renekton.
Okay.
Different looks here. Obviously, with the Zyra pick, is going to give you a lot better disengage, which, for their sake of Dignitas, they were struggling into the heavy engage picks by Shopify. And one of the things that Shopify struggled against NRG last week was trying to... What is going on in the crowd?
Okay, we got some Jhin enthusiasts in the studio today. We had a Jhin chant going on. They actually got it locked in here. This is going to be interesting, man, because you do have, generally the problem with Jhin is really sucks at killing frontline, but Brand kind of solves that for you a little bit because Brand is so good at actually punching through frontline.
Yeah.
I do think they're going to want some high DPS champion for mid lane, which is likely what Dignitas are going to be targeting. What season is it? Dig season. Not in Game 1, buddy. Maybe in Game 2.
We'll see if Dig season can bring it back. Second round of bans. Kai'sa taken off the table from Dignitas. The marksman pool starting to slim down even further and further.
Bans.
Yeah.
Already 5 AD bans here, and 2 more bans still available. Corki's off table, Jhin's off the table. I don't really think you can ban out all the marksman picks because there's just infinite, and a lot of them after the S tier kind of do the same thing, so I don't think it's that big a deal. But they definitely do want to limit the picks for Insanity, because Insanity would still love to have a really high DPS champion, I think, to pair alongside that Jhin. To be that kind of consistent damage threat. Yeah. Because you want to have a comp alongside Jhin that can be diving, pushing forward, and Jhin ultimate generally works best. Like, you open up as your team is going in and really, pumping in that damage.
Yeah, Jhin kind of toes the line between a facilitator because Curtain Call provides those slows, but then he's also an executioner. Once they're super low, those Curtain Call bullets deal so much damage, and even if he can get in range with that last bullet on his auto passive as well, he can finish. Whoa, Pantheon!
Oh, okay. Now,
yes!
Is this going to be Pantheon top or Pantheon mid? That is going to be the question here.
this might be a Renekton answer. I've never seen this matchup before, but he recently got buffed where his W now does percentage max HP damage. His E also now, when it's empowered, it gives you resistances on the exit and a lot of movement speed. So when you're diving on the ultimate with the Grand Starfall, you go in, you stun someone, empower E, and then you have the resistances and the tankiness to actually get out of a fight and reposition for a second stun.
Now, this is going to be really interesting to see, what this Pantheon can get done. I mean, this is very aggressive. They did talk about wanting to have really clear compositions, really easy compositions to play out. Pantheon is such a clear go button. Wait, this is like Jhin mid. This is Jhin mid, I think.
It's
Pantheon
Jhin mid or
top.
Or Kai'Sa mid.
It could be Kai'Sa mid as well, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's probably Kai'Sa mid, actually. Unless they want to pair it down on bot. But this is interesting. There's a lot of stuns, a lot of ways to apply plasma for the Kai'Sa. And this is a very strong dive comp here. I haven't seen some Jhin mid in solo queue, which is why I was thinking it could be. But we'll see what they do, if they're going to bait me or not. They have to actually make their final trades. We don't know where it's going to go, but I have been seeing some Jhin mid in solo queue. This comp, the Jhin opens up, the Pantheon ults, the Leona goes forward. You see Brand throwing in the ult. Kai'Sa dives in on whoever gets stunned. This
comp is freaking awesome!
And it is Jhin mid, so this is really exciting. I will say, though, if your dive does not go well, you're trying to dive through Zyra plants. You're trying to dive through disengage and whatnot from Ziggs, which is going to be really, really difficult. The counter engage that's available as well from a Rell is quite powerful. Renekton's good with counter engage as well. Like, you want to target the Corki, the Ziggs, and the Zyra, but there is great answers for Dig, so I don't think that the compositions are, so one-sided or anything like this. But this is a really spicy comp here from Shopify, and if they can make it work, it's going to be so exciting to see them get their first game win and their first series win. Let's see if they can close it out.
To do it off in style with this composition they drafted as well, it would be the revitalization that they need, that their fans need to have any hope for the remainder of the summer split as we head to the Rift for our second game between Shopify Rebellion and Dignitas.
Yeah, I'm really curious if this is the first Jhin mid in LCS ever. I want to say it is, but we're going to have the stats team actually check in on that. Jhin has been getting a tiny bit of mid lane play in pro. In all regions combined, there's 5 games this season, so not a lot. And if you're looking at the top 4, if you're looking at the major regions, there's 0 games of Jhin play in mid lane. So it's pretty interesting. Definitely not a common pick. Even if you look all time for Jhin in top regions, it looks like there's 1 game ever of mid Jhin in major regions across all seasons since it's been out. So definitely not getting played a lot, but I have seen it pop up a little bit in solo queue. I will be interested to see how he wants to play it out. He's playing TP, so maybe just looking at it as like, hey, it's just like another farming AD that has a pretty strong lane. And I'm just curious, is this something like specifically as an answer to Corki? Is this something that he is kind of just slotting in as, Lucian, Triss, Corki, whatever, they're all the same? It's going to be interesting to find out here. And this is a really juicy leash there. So they see the invade coming, and Isles actually used his W to help leash this for Spica. So Spica tried to get a really fast level 2.
They're going to get the engage. Boogie's in trouble.
And they leashed it.
Running down to the Ignite. Yeah, well played by Dignitas. They get the level 2 for Spica from the Raptor camp, and now he has that level advantage to start off this red buff's totally fine. Boogie is going to be decelerated on that first clear.
So this is so smart, actually. I loved how Isles handled that. So because they have so much AoE between the Ziggs and the Rell, they just ignore the invade. They use all their AoE to help turbo leash this Zyra to kill off the Raptors instantly. Then they force them off the red buff. So now Boogie is way behind. And ironically, how I said there was 1 game in major region history of Jhin mid? It wasn't the LCS. It was Ninja from Envy.
Oh my goodness, what a throwback.
And he was playing it against Jensen. So Jensen, the only one in a major region to have ever played against Jhin mid, and now he's done it twice.
What a crazy timeline. Hang on.
Ooh, 4-shot, baby.
Yeah. What a crazy timeline would it be if Insanity went in the history books just to make that happen. But he's got to survive the game. But he kills Jensen before Spica can get in range. Shopify with the first kill of the game.
Let's go, Insanity. Man, this guy last year was known for bringing out so many spicy picks. Then when you think to spring, it's like the spicy picks he was bringing out was just tanks, right? When you're thinking about last year, he was known for the Graves mid and for all these aggressive picks. And to get a solo kill on mid Jhin, less than 3 minutes into the game, Jensen has got to be really disappointed with that.
I will bring us back to earth for a little bit. I'm hype off of the Jhin mid-kill. Insanity's now down to flash. Jensen still has his flash. We're going to take a look back at the replay.
We're not listening. That's a first blood from Jhin mid, baby. And this one was kind of obvious. Come on, Jensen. How many Jhin mids has he played against? Not enough, apparently. 4 shot there. Did not react. Got hit by the W, got knocked low, and gets blasted down there. So really well played by Insanity. Jensen was trying to ride the line of, I know my jungler's coming. I'm trying to keep him interested, so I'm trying to play a little bit dumb. But he played it a little bit too past the line. You know, allowed himself to get into that kill range and goes from what should have been a forced flash or maybe even a kill to, unfortunately, a solo kill going the other way.
Hang on. This could be a setup on the top side. FakeGod with the empowered E blocks a lot of damage from Licorice. The flash Q for the slow. Seer flash lands it. Licorice is down.
Man, Boogie's just on fire, gets a kill, you know, was put way down off that level 1 invade. Look at Spica's farm. He's very far ahead as far as the camps go. So the only recourse that he has is to make a play like this, to look for a gank. Brand is not a good ganking jungler, but they find the angle. Largely off of the timing there, the empowered E, you know, from the Aegis Assault there from FakeGod. As Licorice went in for the trade with the stun, he timed his E, so he's immuning so much of that damage. He's able to turn it around on the Renekton. And then they're able to get that chase down with the double flash committed. They do get the kills. And that is very, very good stuff for Shopify, but still, it is very even. There's a nice little farm advantage for Zven down on this Ziggs that we haven't been talking about, as well as that level 1 starting out well for Spica. So, you know, he is still up a tiny bit of gold, even though the kill did go over to Boogie.
I even took the time to look up how many Pantheon games since this E rework has happened and the W rework has happened has been played around the world.
Not a lot.
No games in major regions. It's mostly been in Tier 2 and some Tier 1 regions as well that are not major regions as well. I think I saw a lot of Challengers games from LCK. I see some TCL Division 2. But a lot of the build seems to be very AD bruisery, since now that he has percentage max HP damage, it fits more with that kind of archetype. You go for Black Cleaver, Spear, Shojin, Sterix Gauge, all going to be items we should be looking for from FakeGod. Yep.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how he's going to be able to perform, but off to a pretty good start. Obviously, gold only slightly in the lead for FakeGod, but things going well for Shopify. That being said, again, you know, there's a really good wave clear on Dignitas' side of this team. There's very good scaling. There's good disengage. So, you know, you're not so concerned about how things are going on the Dignitas comp, you know, this time around compared to last game, where I think if you fell behind last game, you were really sweating already. Spica up towards top side. He does have that flash advantage and maybe going to try to look to find an angle here. He knows he wants to get something done.
Stun. But Jensen's getting cooked by Buki in the river. I don't know how that happened. The curtain call was also procced, and it looked like Insanity was setting up a pick and found Jensen alongside Boogie.
Yeah, it looked to me like Jensen probably got pushed out by Insanity, then right into the waiting arms of Boogie with the curtain call coming over the top. 0-2 start here for Jensen on the Corki. Not what he wanted to happen after that game number 1. And again, here comes Pantheon. Oh, the first one was stolen there by Spica, so that is good. They do get a grub. Or, excuse me, no, I guess it wasn't. I thought he actually got this smite. But
it looked close. It was definitely close. What I'm curious about was, did FakeGod recall and then ult back in, or if he did it from the top side of the map? But on the bottom side, Zeyzal potentially getting risky with Zven and Isles, but just to push them off the wave so that BVOY can get a reset in. Spica does manage to get the last 2 grubs, so it's just 1 versus 2 for both teams.
Yep. BVOY going to actually cancel that recall because the bot lane from Dig just pushes so fast. So here it is one more time. This is kind of what I expected. Insanity is just walking down, pushing him up towards where his jungler is. So Jensen's trying to retreat out towards that side. Boogie comes down, the curtain call gets open, and just really escorts him straight down into the waiting arms of the jungler. Not much Jensen can do about that. That is well played, again, by Shopify.
Boogie's coming down. He had just invaded, got the red buff. Isle still has his flash, and he's trying to distract Boogie so that Zven doesn't get caught in the crossfire. Mega Inferno Bomb does a lot of damage. Ignite is ticking down. Will Boogie fall? It's not enough.
The last tick, he survives. This guy is looking make Brand look like Lee Sin. Like, he is just everywhere. He is ganking non-stop. Boogie has been getting it done. He's very far down on farm, but it just doesn't matter because he's finding plays. He goes top, so he helps get a kill there. He goes mid, helps get a kill there, gets another kill down on bot. You think back to game 1 as well, where he's just ganking bot on repeat. He's mixing it up this time, but damn, he's playing really well.
Insanity has flash. Might be forced to use it. Oh, he holds it! He's so damn cool. Not even phased by the threat from Jensen.
Yeah, it wasn't a big one, so pretty unfazed. And when you're looking at the items in the inventory from Jensen, you can tell why, right? Like, what has he bought so far? He's got tabbies and a tier. He's sitting just on that D-Blade, so he has no damage really behind it. And it is going to be a TP back to the tier 2. That's not a mistake. It's just because Isles is standing right on top. Yeah. He's worried that, okay, what if Spica's there? What if a third member's there? And I just TP in right to die. So TP's a little bit further back. Is going to be able to pick up the wave, though. And Insanity just keeps on cruising.
Dude, Insanity's locked in, man. He is playing at such a high peak performance that kind of reminds us of what he looked like when he first came back in for TSM, subbing for them last summer.
I mean, it's exciting to see, right? Because you don't want to have a team, you know, down at the bottom of the standings that just feels like that free win. And Shopify is showing us that they are not to be overlooked by these teams. You know, being able to turn a really strong series. And I think after a competitive series against Energy, this series, win or lose today, teams are going to be looking out for Shopify because even if they don't end up making playoffs, this team could really spoil some other teams' playoff chances or you know, mess up you going for a higher seed or whatever.
Yeah, if this is the form that they continue playing in, I would not be surprised if the other teams are, like, now just watching this series, they're going to have to be a lot more respectful to the way they play. I know that early on in the season, we heard a lot from scrims saying that Shopify were kind of like on Immortals level where everyone wants to fight for them in scrims, but obviously the stage results did not reflect that and was very abysmal for Shopify in the first 3-4 weeks of the season. Now in this week 5, they got the first game off of Dignitas. They're in a decent advantage against Dignitas in the second game. For Dignitas, you're kind of hoping that Spica's farm advantage is going to bring them back into this game.
Yeah, he does have that farm advantage. You know, they do obviously have a pretty nice farm advantage in bot lane as well. They did get that kill on Isles, but Zven is up 20 CS, so Zven has been doing a really good job. They also got 2 plates down in bot side, so in the isolated 2v2, Zven and Isles were doing great. Looking for another play here on Jensen. He's got to be careful because if he gets caught, he does not have Merc Treads, so he would get locked down 100-0. They cannot find it, though. So Jensen survives. Isles, he knows they're in the area, though. He's playing with fire a little bit here.
He does have flash, and he just uses the crash down. A seer comes out. Boogie trying to see if he could bait Isles into panicking using a summoner spell without it being necessary, but Isles holds his cool.
They want these grubs, man. They are really playing heavily towards it. They rotated their bot lane up so early, and Boogie has basically just been camped here, you know, waiting to play for this. Spica, his farm is going to pay off potentially because he has the Leandries completed prior to this fight. So he is going to be coming out on the map, and we'll see what he can get done. Also does have the Elixir of Force, so going to have that extra AP as well. Like, he is very strong compared to Boogie right now. Like, way stronger if he pops that Elixir of Force.
Spica knows how tumultuous this fight is going to be. If they don't win this fight, this could be the catalyst that allows Shopify to close out the advantage. Here comes BVOY with the killer instinct. Curtain Call opens up, provides the slows, but a kill back on the Zeyzal will be traded by Dignitas. FakeGod has already teleported in to join the fray. BVOY super low, and the rest of Shopify are pushed off the remaining grubs.
And that's kind of what I'm talking about with the counter engage. Like, they just found Isles. Isles is not the ideal target. They do go in on him. You know, BVOY pops the killer instinct, flies in. They look for this aggressive first pick. They are able to get it, but you cannot underestimate the amount of damage that's going to come out of the Ziggs, that's going to come out of the Zyra as you are trying to pile in on someone else. And they just blast through those other members, push them back. They do get the grub, so it's 5 grubs game here. That, on top of the fact that Ziggs already naturally has so much pushing power, is going to make it very difficult. This top lane turret could just be going down, and now they do find Zeyzal.
Force the flash immediately. Does not want to get caught by the Dignitas CC train. 3 plates are about to go down over to Zven on the top side of the map. Boogie finishing off that dragon in the trade on the cross map. BVOY is here with Zeyzal, but 2 versus 3, still not safe enough for them to step up to this turret. And Zven executes it with the satchel.
Yep, going to be able to grab that first tower. Very nicely done. Spica makes good on all the farming that he had been doing. Showed up to that second grubs fight so much stronger. Had the Elixir of Force ready. Had the Leandries already completed. And yeah, they do get the jump here onto Isles, but Isles just goes in for the counter engage. And look at the damage put down onto BVOY. It was kind of just a firing line all these carries on Dig were being ignored. You definitely cannot be going for someone like Isles on the support. You know, with this style of composition that Shopify have, they have got to zero out one of these squishy carries. It's got to be Ziggs, Corki, or Zyra every single time. And you have to hope that you're kind of insta-killing them before they can put out a lot of damage, or before you can get run over by the other two, because, you know, if you are ignoring them, it is going to be to your detriment.
Dignitas are going to try to set up this vision line aggressively into Shopify's top quadrant. Since that they have taken down the tier 1 turret, they have the easy access to go through. And Sanity is in trouble. He has got no tower behind him, and he still has a flash, but he might not get out. Nicely timed, waiting for that Q before using his flash.
People are loving the Jhin, man. Getting all kinds of cheers for getting out of that one. Played it out well, had the 4-shot, had the fleet proc as well, so got a lot of move speed. I do think that Owls was playing it smart also. Just uses the ult first to slow him down to try to look for that Shattering Strike to guarantee the stun. But it's a good flash from Insanity, able to walk it on out. This has just been a bit of a farm fest. You know, both Licorice and FakeGod in the top lane, obviously playing down in bot. Been farming very, very even. Are they actually going to look for this?
Licorice knows that the dive is coming, pops the Dominus for the extra HP. FakeGod looking for the Q, but does not find it. But Licorice is forced off the tower anyway, since they've got reinforcements coming from both BVOY and Zeyzal.
Yeah, that is a lot of damage done to Licorice there. They force the ult, they chunk him out, but thankfully for him, he used the Dominus to fully clear the wave, so the tower is actually not under threat. We'll see if someone does head down there to answer. It is just going to be Licorice going back down towards bottom lane, while Jensen on that Corki is pushing up top. You know, playing that side lane out against Insanity. That is definitely one of the big weaknesses of a Jhin compared to like a Tristana or a Corki or whatever.
Yeah.
You have no dash, so playing in the side lane is pretty risky, and without flash, he knows he's got to hug the turret, right? And that's why he's playing so far back. You could see on the minimap he was even hesitant to walk off of the tower to even just farm that wave that was right in front of it. So really has got to play it quite safe over these next couple minutes, at least until that flash is back or he has someone around to support him.
First item completed for FakeGod should be that Sundered Sky, but Licorice still has a flash. Flashes the Zenith Blade.
Yeah, good flash there. That was absolutely needed. He had no ultimate available, and he's got no MR. So if you get stunned up there by the Leona, you're going to get 100-0'd by him and the Brand. Very, very likely, especially with the Pantheon there to follow up. You know, the ulti could have been used to follow. But Dignitas still continuing to just farm it up. Have so much wave clear here in the mid lane. They're posted up with that Ziggs, looking to just kind of play around mid, utilizing the Ziggs for wave control mid. Spica just bounces back and forth, farming as many of these jungle camps as he possibly can to try to continually accelerate himself. And I think Dig is just really going to focus on the objectives. You can see how many wards they actually have around this top side of the map. You know, really building out this heavy line of wards in this section to try to maintain control in that area and seal away as many possible jungle camps.
The question will become, though, how can Dignitas shift that vision line over to the bottom side of the map? The third dragon is coming up in the next minute. Shopify already have 2. So if they get that without any contest from Dignitas, they will be on soul point. So Dignitas' first step is to take out the mid tier 1 between the Rift Herald and the Satchel from Ziggs. Now this gives them more control as the map is further opened up into Shopify's jungle.
Yeah, and I mean, I think what they're going to do is just utilize the gold that they've gotten off of these couple towers, off of this farming, to try to really set up for a very strong third dragon fight. You know, I do expect them to show up there first. Honestly, whoever has control of the area, it's going to be really difficult for the other team to approach. If Dignitas get there first, walking in through Zyra plants and Corki poke is tough, but they're looking for a dive here potentially. They got to go fast though, because Owls is coming.
Yeah, and Jensen just evaporated the wave. I think Shopify need to call this off. The flash from Jensen to get away from Boogie. Here comes the Mango Inferno Bomb. Boogie flashes it in time.
Yeah, it is just the trade of flashes at the end of the day. Jensen handling that pretty well here. They wanted to try to get that pick before the dragon, but they can't quite do it. And Jensen has TP, so how are they going to move down now for that dragon? You see pings from both teams coming down towards the dragon. Boogie maybe had a bit of a buy here he wanted to try to get to. Does do the Krugs before recalling. Does mean he's going to be a bit late to that dragon, which has already spawned. We can see the TPs now starting to come in. Zven goes right back to mid. They want to play this through mid. They get full prio there. Now they're going to try to move into that bot side river and maintain control here. Boogie looking like he's just heading out towards Raptors, so Shopify has decided, you know what, it's actually too risky. Walking over here as a Brand with no flash against Isles, who does have his flash, would be a pretty guaranteed engage and likely an easy kill onto that Brand.
Yeah, and I think they just spent too much time on the top side, and Dignitas did a good job of slowing down their escape path, so they didn't have enough tempo to really get back on the map and challenge for space in the bottom side river. So Dignitas gonna stop Soul Point from being achieved by Shopify, or at least the dragon that would put them in contention for Soul Point. Jensen and Isles now sieging on the bot tier 2. FakeGod doing what he can to slow down that siege, but with Zven arriving, it's the turret destruction all over again as Dignitas continue to accelerate this gold lead.
It's so funny watching Ziggs hit a tower and then Jhin on the other side at the tower. Jin's flip push leaves a little bit of something to be desired. Not the fastest turret killer.
He's doing what he can, man.
He's trying his best for sure. But one Ziggs auto seems to be about 4 from Jhin, so it's tough out there.
Did he just throw Mega Burn
Yep.
Bomb? I guess.
Threw out the ulti, stopped the recall, had the ward, so
Nice.
it's also just farming a little bit of first strike gold. He is
Yeah.
playing first strike on the Ziggs. I'm actually going to check, see how much gold he's gotten from that so far. So 216 gold, so closing on basically what a kill would be. So not too bad at all. Let's see how much Spica has. Spica has almost nothing, 40 gold from the first strike, so hasn't really gotten much from that. You know, on Zyra again, you can go Electrocute, can go Comet, can go Dark Harvest. There are kind of those different options. Obviously, first strike does scale pretty well, but hasn't really been able to poke too much so far this game, so isn't getting that much value from it. But honestly, really all he's done is farm, so you wouldn't get that much from any of them. They did have that one scrap that they were able to kind of win over by Grubs,
Yeah.
but that's really been the only fight it feels like Spica's been involved in the entire game.
The nice thing, though, is that he has used that Zyra plant power to net so many grubs from Shopify's graphs. Now, we're getting to the point of the game where Baron is spawning in 20 seconds, and we've all now seen, we have the tape, that Zyra can burn this Baron incredibly fast if you get the plant set up for it.
Yeah, Zyra can definitely kill it really fast, but on the other side, Kai'Sa and Brand are also incredible actually burning down the Baron. So both teams do have a fast Baron take. You have to keep eyes on it, though, for sure, as they're going to look for Isles.
Second part of that crash down interrupts the Zenith Blade on the arrival. Nicely done from Dignitas and Shopify just jockeying for position in the river.
Yeah, and Spica's almost level 13. He wasn't 2 levels up. I think we'll find that. Boogie just hit 11, so now he's just a 1.5 or so right now. But Spica has a big experience advantage, has the 2 items finished a lot faster, so he is very, very strong. And you need to see him continue to walk around the map, just poke with these plants, help them maintain this vision control here around the objectives. You want to get that vision line, and then you want to defend it with plants. Just make it really costly for them to constantly get whittled down.
Licorice gonna jump scare FakeGod, but Boogie is also here, so Licorice is gonna dash over the wall and find himself face to face with Brand. The Mega Inferno Bomb will try to slow their roll, but the flash from FakeGod follows up, and the burn passive from Boogie takes out the big crocodile.
Yeah, Licorice got the jump on FakeGod, but honestly, it looked like he was losing that fight anyway. Even with the jump, wasn't even able to really do anything to him, and then Boogie walks up, and he just gets roasted by the Brand. Boogie now 4-0-1. Definitely the big hope here for a carry from Shopify. Has been looking really, really good so far this series. Back-to-back Brand games. And getting a lot of work done. Dignitas, of course, were maintaining control on the other side over by the Baron, but there is a ward in the pit, and they weren't in position to really try to rush it with seeing that Brand down on bot side. So Shopify get a pretty big win. They get the kill. They're going to get the bot tier 1, and they don't lose anything on the other side.
Yeah. And the window for trying to sneak that Baron while Shopify are on the cross map is starting to dwindle as we take a look back at the replay.
Yep, it was pretty straightforward. You know, does try to get out of there, is able to dodge the seer, flashes over the wall, but the ulti was following, so did have that passive bomb already on him. FakeGod just flashes in to be able to finish off that kill and is able to get it. FakeGod did go for Sundered Sky into the Shojin, so pretty standard stuff from him, but we'll see, you know, when they actually want to look for this fight, because it's been a lot of individual picks for Shopify. The only real kind of concerted team fight they did have, they went for Isles, and they ended up getting punished. And now it's a TP looking for insanity.
Yeah, it's Licorice. Pops the dominance, but FakeGod answers with a Grand Starfall, and Licorice is just going to get popped. Insanity and Boogie are forced to run. FakeGod, the sacrificial lamb for Shopify to get out, but the re-engage with the curtain call, looking for those bullets and the slows. Zeyzal's back in. BVOY arrives to the party. Can they get in there? The Deadly Flourish onto Jensen, slows him down and roots him. But nothing else from Shopify can be done to take out the members of Dignitas.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the health bars. This is the problem when you're playing against Dignitas' comp. Yes, they do get that first kill, but you're spending so much of your damage to kill off Licorice that you're just eating free damage from the plants, from the bombs, from the Corki poke. and it results in the situation. Nice catch!
Killer Instinct found Spica on a ward. He thought he was safe, but BVOY has a Killer Instinct to take him out.
Yeah, that is actually really big, right before the dragon spawn, so now should be a freebie here from Shopify. They just need to run straight down to this dragon, grab their third dragon, and that gives them a potential win condition here of a soul. So that is really, really big, because I do think the comps are very difficult for Shopify to play out, but Soul can really throw a wrench in the gears of Dignitas' plans. Spica just got caught on that ward, and BVOY makes the big play to catch him on that recall, gets the kill, and that gets them all the way to Soul Point.
Yeah. The fact that Dignitas don't have the chance to do something on the top side of the map during that pick is so huge. Shopify are now within grasp of Soul Point, and it's Mountain Soul on top of it, something so valuable against the composition like Dignitas.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's really, really strong. Dig at least does have a lot of pokes that can kind of whittle away, and if it can keep you in combat, keep hitting you, maybe you can't get multiple applications of that Mountain Soul shield, but either way, Soul is always going to be really powerful. Do have to check in, though. Zven has been farming very well this game. He's 260 CS before 24 minutes. He's working towards his death cap here. That will be his third item. He has gold for the death cap just now, so he's going to go back and complete it, and that is a massive spike. If he can get down to 16, level 16, 3 items, death cap, if you get hit by the sweet spot on that ulti, it is just so much of your health. And especially if you've played a lot of Jhin, you've probably played against Ziggs before, it is tough, man, to even press R, because Ziggs will just drop his ulti on your head every single time after that. And here it is one more time. Pretty straightforward stuff. I also like the wait here because the recalls were desynced. So this is very smart from BVOY. Notice how he waited for Zven's recall to finish before going in, because if he goes in before that happens, Zven cancels the recall, they turn around, they get the kill on him, maybe. This was well done by BVOY, but it is Spica over by that Baron. I don't think they were looking for an attempt. I think that was just Boogie hitting it over the wall as he was trying to clear vision and constantly re-aggroing it, making it a little bit annoying.
Dignitas.
Yeah, they just keep doing this. Spica actually losing a lot of health because they see that he's just trying to clear out these wards, but every time he does it, they're just aggroing the Baron, and the Baron is kind of chunking him down. So Spica's lost a good third of his health. He has so many seeds in the pit. He really wants to clear this out, because when there's that many seeds in the pit, you can threaten, where you pop them all, you ult the seeds, and you just insta-melt that Baron. But this is the tough thing. Like, he doesn't want to auto-attack the pink, because he knows if I auto-attack the pink, they're going to hit the Baron's going to hit me, and he can't afford to get too much lower. And because the fight breaks out, it could be tough.
And they have to delay it because Insanity just got cryo on the top wave.
That was so close.
Oh boy.
That Zenith blade almost caught Spica.
The tension is at an all-time high between these two teams. Shopify, they blew Dignitas out in game one in very rapid fashion with almost no contest whatsoever. This second game, a different story. Dignitas have done what they can to make it as close and competitive as possible, which makes it even more dangerous for both teams to start the fight off.
I mean, honestly, if it wasn't for that last pick in the third dragon that was taken by Shopify, I would be absolutely chilling if I was on Dig, but the fact that they're on Soul Point always makes you really, really nervous when you're playing League, because you know how powerful Soul is. It's permanent power. It's about 4,000 gold worth of stats, so there's a big swing in any game. And I think that is what is putting a lot of pressure on them to feel like, hey, maybe we should be up over Baron. Maybe we should be trying to threaten something, because I think that's making them feel a little bit less confident to just kind of play out the game slowly.
Yeah.
Shopify knows that if they engage in, their engage has to be perfect, or they're going to get absolutely roasted in the 5v5. But they don't necessarily have to 5v5 if they can just threaten Soul and play through sides and keep getting picks.
Yeah, and Shopify, as long as they prevent Dignitas from starting up the Baron in the next minute and a half, then Dragon is up. And now Dignitas have to shift their prio and setup from the Baron over to the Dragon. Otherwise, they're going to give up Soul over to Shopify. And that's something that they do not want to have to play into, even if they traded something like what we saw from Shopify Energy last week, Baron and Dragon Soul trade. That is not something that Dignitas are interested in.
How many wards are in this section of the map? It's like they are really, really making sure that not only they have always a ward on the Baron pit, but they have so many wards around the Baron pit and in their own jungle, because they know we cannot allow Spica any time to be able to actually get over to that pit and try to solo this one out. So
yeah.
I'm pretty curious. This point of the game has slowed down quite a lot. I don't know what chat thinks. Who is in the better position right now? Would you rather be in Dig's spot with their comp, with a slight gold lead, or would you rather be where Shopify is actually sitting, sitting at that 3 dragon mark and potentially threatening for Soul?
Yeah, because it definitely comes down to execution. Because on the one hand, I like that Shopify are at Soul Point, but Dignitas, all you got to do is just let Shopify make the first move, and you get the setup first, it's so hard for them to actually burn through all of the minefields and the plants that you have to work your way through. So honestly, I could see arguments for either side, but the Dragon spawn is coming up in 30 seconds. Neither team is really set up for Baron. Shopify trying to challenge for space in that bottom side of the map.
It's interesting. It actually looks pretty split. I want to say it's slightly favored more Shopify people. I'm saying in chat, people like their spot better, but there's actually a lot of people that are saying, well, Dig's comp is better, so it doesn't actually matter.
Exactly.
So it is going to be interesting. I think it's going to come down pretty heavily to execution.
Yep.
I like Shopify's spot, but if they fail one engage, this game could go really bad really fast for them. Same token, if you can get that perfect engage, find someone like the Zyra, 100-0 them before they can get their ult out, Dig is going to get absolutely destroyed. Then you get Soul, then you get Baron, then the game could really be in your favor. Look at all these traps set up on top side from Insanity.
Just completely covering that top river entrance, whereas Shopify trying to fight their way back into the river entrance from the jungle towards mid lane. Spica holding onto it while he can, zoning him off with these plans. But he's got to be careful. Solar Flare, instant flash.
Yep, he knows if you get caught by that, you are probably toast. Isle's going to threaten, so they do force the flash back.
Decent damage with the Mega Inferno Bomb on top of it as well. Zeyzal does not have Warmlocks. He went with the Locket so that he could provide that extra bit of shielding for any burst of damage onto his team. So he is going to be forced to recall.
And I think the Locket is absolutely the right choice. You're playing against Zyra Ziggs. And that Baron is on the map now, but they are taking the Dragon down on that bottom side. So Shopify not going to be able to actually get a chance to challenge for this. Will be 2 Dragons to 3. But Dig being able to take that, big for them. They don't have to stress about this for another 5 minutes, and now they're just going to focus their efforts back up towards that top side. But it's an interesting game because Dig doesn't really want to be the ones that start the fight. They want to counter-engage. And on the other side, Shopify's like, I don't know if we want to start the fight either, because I think they're not confident that they're going to win the 5v5. So it really has relegated us to this situation where both sides are just farming 3 lanes, power farming the jungle, trying to play for vision, and looking for the occasional opportunities for picks.
Yeah, Shopify are getting flashbacks to what their series was like against NRG last week. I mean, no, I'm being serious.
No, they missed. I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at the trap.
Oh, gotcha.
He went through the trap field.
Oh, dang.
That was a lot of hard work there from the Jhin, but he missed the W.
Yeah, he spoiled it.
That sucks.
Yeah, but for Shopify, like, playing into such a heavy counter-engage composition, you don't want to be the one that pulls the trigger for an engage and is completely botched. All of this hard work, all of the early game things that went right for Shopify in the first 20, 30 minutes of the game would just go up in smoke. And with the added tension of trying to look for that first series win when you already have one game in your back pocket netted, you don't want to be the one that throws it away and pushes this to a game 3.
Yep, Ziggs now level 16. The sweet spot of the Mega Inferno Bomb, 1250 damage, plus obviously a first strike damage, plus any sort of like other procs, he has Scorch or anything like that. He has a lot of damage, and he also actually...
Whoa, that's a deep dive. FakeGod goes over the wall, but not quite because the wall is too thick. Jensen escapes, and Isles is going to look for the re-engage. FakeGod just might be toast here. That Aegis assault isn't going to stop Dignitas' own assault as they take out the top laner from Shopify.
That is actually so big because no one's answering Licorice either, so Licorice now can threaten that bot lane inhibitor. Someone's going to have to be forced to go back to answer, and if they go back to answer, then Dig could maybe start the Baron, but I really think what happened there was Jensen was still hugging the wall. He fell just barely over. Pantheon's stun brings you right to the person. So it didn't travel over the wall because Jensen was so close to the wall itself. And ends up meaning now Jhin back trying to defend. Can he chase him down here? Let's see.
He's got the movement speed.
He's fast.
He procs the Sterix Gauge. Meanwhile, on the left side, Baron has been started up. Boogie still has the flash.
W.
Oh, he predicted the W on the right side. He roots him up. Boogie tries the face check, but he's going to get blown up. Baron is secured for Dignitas. Insanity still in the 1v1 against Licorice as he pops the Dominus for extra HP. The flash away. Insanity's trying to run him down, but BVOY got Jensen, but he is taken out by Spica as well. Dignitas winning the fight on the left flank, but here comes Insanity. Curtain call. 2, 3, last one. It hits!
Oh!
Insanity! Chef Chalet will save this game for Shopify!
Jhin is going crazy! The solo kill on the Renekton in the side lane, then the flanking Jhin ult. It's 3 of 4 shots. and comes up big time, taking out Spica to finish it off, then gets the tier 1 mid. Insanity is refusing to lose in this one. What a crazy series of events. The move speed there in the late game from that Jhin, just allowing him to keep up with Licorice and hitting so many of those deadly bursts, just chasing him down. Here is the other side of the fight over by the Baron. I'm not gonna lie, I was just staring at the Jhin play because that was really entertaining me. But we saw this really good engage from Isles over onto Boogie. They do burst him down, but the problem is Brand pressed RE. That's basically all his damage. That's all he really needs to get done. So it opens up the window for BVOY to go in and really get aggressive. They do get these kills back, and it was so critical that he did. Otherwise, they could have potentially kept so many of these Barons. There it is, lucky number 4. And that thing hurts this late in the game. He's got 5 items right now, including the boots. Has the IE. People are loving the Jhin, man.
Let him cook, chat. Insanity has brought the Jhin mid to the fray, and he is not disappointing.
Absolute cinema. All right, let's see if they can win this game. Oh, Jhin Sanity, I like that. That's nice. That's nice. That's not your Pantheon. I've seen your Pantheon, Kangas.
Roasting him alive on the LCS broadcast. Shopify getting ready for...
Unless he means ulting and dying. Then it is,
oh, yeah, that is definitely...
Then I take that back. I apologize.
20 seconds on Mountain Soul for Shopify Rebellion. They are the first ones in the river. And even though Dignitas took that Baron, they got fully swept afterwards. So no Baron trade either for Dignitas. They can't do anything to challenge lanes on the top side of the map to get something back. Shopify have full control of the pit.
Yeah, Licorice has a pretty good angle here. Mid lane obviously is fully Shopify as the wave is pushing up. Zeyzal is going to look for a potential flank here.
Flank. Jensen has flash. Zven does not. Zeyzal's target is going to be Zven! He's locked down, and Zven is gone! BVOY in there with the killer instinct. The Pyroclasm and the plants. That's a lot of circles. FakeGod leads the charge into the front line, and BVOY gets one back before he falls. Jensen doing everything he can, but Insanity is ramping up the bullets, and he's going to look for Spica next. Let me hear you, Arena. 2! Deadly Flourish! He's winding up the last bullet, and it looks like it's just going to be... He doesn't even need Boogie!
Okay, I see you, Insanity, I see you. Styling on them, finishing them off with the ulti, but what a great engage there from Zeyzal. Gave Zven no chance to react. Flash Q immediately onto the Ziggs there, one of those prime targets. He has no Zonias, he has no cleanse, he has no flash. Look at this engage. No hesitation, instant stun. The follow-up stun is right there from FakeGod. The ulti over the top as well from Zeyzal. And BVOY's in that backline, and BVOY as well has the Sonya, so he buys time. And during that time, Boogie is wreaking havoc on the brand. Gets a massive ulti across multiple members. And then Insanity. This Jhin is getting so much more done than I ever expected that it would. He couldn't finish him off with a 4-shot, but who cares because he has the ulti. He grabs the kill. 5-0-4 now here for Insanity, working on that final item.
The way that this series was playing out, Isaac, I thought that the nightmare for Dignitas was going to be the boogeyman on this brand, but it is Jhin Sanity. Him and Boogie have done such a great job of keeping Shopify's chances in this game, salvaging so many plays, and now with Mountain Soul picked up, they have everything they need to close this game out.
I mean, Boogie has just been such a difference maker. It looks like a completely different squad since he came in. Competitive series last week, now on the precipice here of 2-0ing Dignitas after not winning a single game before that in the split. Dig really not wanting to go down here. They need this series win for their playoff positioning here. Going to try as best as they possibly can to fight back. It is still definitely possible for Dig to take this one, but Mountain Soul are going to make things a lot more difficult. There's a lot of squishy members though, so Mountain Soul, you're not going to be everything, and you have a lot of pokes, so you have the ability to potentially just poke them out, you know, with the Zyra, with the Ziggs, with the Corki, and try to mitigate a lot of what that Mountain Soul is doing. And you don't want that kind of 100-0 play as Dig. You want to be able to take it slow, and they still have the ability to do that if they can mark these engages that Shopify is looking for, because when it goes well, it's going to go so well for their comp. But if someone had been on the side marking Zeyzal and preventing him from getting in, it could have been a completely different fight.
almost 40 minutes into the game, 17 to 9 kills.
The average game time for Shopify is going crazy.
Yep. Ever since Boogie came in, has been far more competitive. Closer looks from Shopify. Last week ended in disappointment, coming up short against NRG. But Shopify are on the precipice of netting their first series win as FakeGod leads the engage. They find the backline once again. It is Spica that's the target. Zeyzal goes down as a trade, but it's a necessary sacrifice as BVOY continues to charge into the backline. Killer instinct with absolutely no fear. He forces Isles to flash away, and Licorice is stranded away from the rest of the team. Shopify will run this crocodile down. Shopify with the teleport, an added member to make sure the execution is flawless. Shutdown goes over to Insanity. 4 members gone from Dig. Shopify, they are ready to pour this into the base.
Yeah, Shopify have done it. That's going to be that. There's only one member alive, and it is Isles. He's going to try to cut the wave, maybe, but Shopify are marching on the Nexus for their first series win.
This is it. Where were you when Shopify picked up their first series win of the Summer Split? Move on over, Dig Season. It's time for Shopify Summer.
Man, what a way to do it for Shopify. Not only do they get their first win, not only do they get their first series win, they do it with Jhin mid. A massive performance here from Insanity. But to me, the player of the series easily is Boogie for what he got done in both of these 2 games on the brand. This guy was such a difference maker. Game number 1 slammed the Dignitas bot lane, constantly reganking. Game 2, he got kills in all 3 lanes early game on the brand, even with their level 1 invade going so poorly and him being set behind. He has just found ways to make a difference in these games. It just looks like a completely different Shopify. I mean, they looked coordinated, they looked clean, they were on the same game plan, and the crowd is loving it.
It's a renaissance for Shopify Rebellion, and what a time to have it when there's 3 weeks remaining in the regular season. I think we were ready if had Shopify lost this series, they would have been out of contention for playoffs, or it would have been very, very hard. But this series win now ties them with Dignitas in the standings. It gives them a better shot of being able to make it as one of those 6 teams. And if this is the way they're going to look, oh man, I am so excited for playoffs.
I mean, it is going to be really interesting. And on the other side of the table, Dignitas have got to be crushed by this loss. This was supposed to be one of their, easy wins, one of the guaranteed wins. But unfortunately for them, they do lose. And that means they are now tied in the standings with Shopify. You lost that head-to-head, obviously.
Yeah.
They only have 2 games remaining. They're sitting on 1 win. And all of a sudden, playoffs not guaranteed for Dignitas. You could even get passed by Shopify.
Yeah, and for me, I felt that Dignitas was going to be our leading dark horse for the summer. Now, that remains to be seen with Shopify having such a huge revitalization. But with that, our series is over. We're going to be joining Mrs. ChimChim, Insanity, and Boogie on stage for the interview.
Congratulations, both of you guys, Boogie, Insanity. That was an amazing 2-0 for y'all. Holy moly. How does it feel to win?
It's just first time in for this split, so I'm so happy.
Good. I love that. I love that. Insanity, brother, talk me through this Jhin mid pick.
I got really nothing. I'm just out here having fun.
Yeah? Yeah, you want to talk to me about those curtain calls? Every single last one just about hit?
To be honest, in scrims, usually I miss them, so I was just saving it for a stage.
He's too good, y'all. He's too good. And then I want to ask, what do y'all have to do to keep the momentum to actually make playoffs?
Just win more.
Okay. And I do want to ask you, Boogie, how does it feel to be back as the jungler? And how do you lead your team to victory?
Tomio was main loser this split, but actually he's really not bad. But this AP jungle meta really hard for Lucky. So if tank jungle meta comeback. I think he's really good. And when I was coach, I just watched LCK and LPL, and so I just learned how to win about like macro. So I could lead team right now.
Well, thank you guys so much. Congratulations. It's a Shopify summer, and we are going to send it back to the analysts.
Thank you.
Jhin Sanity.
That was nice.
Yes.
That was nice. I liked hearing from Boogie too, where he
Yeah.
was like, I was helping coach the team, and Tomio's not bad, but it could be a rough meta for him. And I watched LPL and LCK, and yeah, I don't know, it was good.
I love that he came from it from that perspective, because thinking about someone else, especially when you're coming back into that role, is always difficult. And so it just seems like he's a great team player. And they went through a lot of troubles, but being able to pick up that first victory, that has to feel great.
Oh, man, it absolutely does. Let's break down this week's Pagoda moment. Jhin Sanity picking up the first blood in this game. We could have picked a lot of different Jhin moments, but really, when you lock in Jhin mid and you just end up getting a solo kill in laning phase.
That fourth bullet hurts.
Bang!
Yeah. Woof. Yeah, it was. I was surprised that. I love the insanity reactions. I was surprised we didn't pick. There were so many Jhin moments, right?
Yeah.
I was actually not expecting it to be that one.
It was either him just walking down Renekton from the bottom
Yeah.
side map all the way to the back. It was actually a full walk down. That one was one. There were multiple curtain calls. The fact that he said that he was saving the actual hits on stage.
Yeah.
That's a good call.
I mean, that Renekton solo kill that took like 30 seconds
Yeah.
was really the turning point in the game, because FakeGod had just died on a failed Shopify engage, and then that whole sequence ended up with them killing 5 people, getting a bunch of summoner spells down, and that allowed them to stay aggressive for the rest of the game.
Well, then getting in time to have the curtain call and then have the TP come in, because it just took so
Yes.
long. And the big difference in terms of Shopify, in addition to like how interesting this draft is and how well I think Insanity has been playing pretty well in lane, like overall, we kind of reviewed it with APA when he was on all the way back in week 3, is that they just look so much more coordinated in the early game. Like they just look like they have a game plan. And I think that comes from Buki.
Yeah, I'm also hearing that the first win for Shopify wasn't the only thing at stake today, so we're going
you
to check
sure?
that out.
Oh.
I don't really
wait.
believe that.
We're going to look.
Okay. If you want some hope, Shopify fans, Boogie's back in. Everything's gonna be different. I'm completely wrong. Different team, new Boogie, different Shopify. Now, I gotta ask you a question. I don't think that's gonna be.
They're
the case.
going to win at least one.
Are you willing to bet
They're
anything
going
on
to win
it,
at
Kobe?
least one match.
I will. What you want to bet?
Why are we betting?
Jalapeno bet. Okay, let's do it. Jalapeno poppers.
Yeah, why are we betting?
What are you betting?
He said one game. They'll take one game.
Okay.
Yeah. I ended up basically editing it to be a series win. And I still got it.
Soften the bet, and you
Yeah.
still
That's
won.
true. We still got it.
Yeah.
You don't win
Boom.
many bets. This is good.
Boom. So thankfully, I think we even edited
But
it.
I mean,
to-
jalapeno popper.
Yeah.
It's a
That's
jalapeno.
the tamest thing.
Yeah.
We're not doing
That's
poppers.
a treat that people pay money for at restaurants.
Yeah, we're not doing poppers. I still believe that a popper would have killed me.
What?
I'm just putting that out there. I
You
haven't had
ate,
one,
you
but,
ate a habanero on broadcast.
and I died.
You're
So-
still here.
Mild ones with rats.
that one was tough. So thankfully now it's going to be all on Kobe to eat that jalapeno or jalapeno popper. I'm just going to give it up to him on that one because he ended up taking the L.
Is he
so.
worried about cholesterol? Like, what is
Yeah,
that?
I don't know what he's gonna be
What is
worried
the
about.
drawback?
Yeah,
I
I'm
would
not-
just take the jalapeno. If he is like
Yeah.
it's less calories
Yep.
and it's spicier. I'll eat a jalapeno
It's something
with Kobe.
really
They're
hot.
not even that
Yes.
spicy.
It's going to be something hot. That's
Something
the only
hot.
way it makes sense.
Exactly. Much like the gameplay coming in from Shopify Rebellion. So congratulations, guys, for that other win. That's a dub.
Yeah, absolutely. Player of the series for
Who-
today as
who is
well.
it?
I'm not sure, actually. I voted Boogie.
Yeah.
I voted
We'll see if
Insanity.
Insanity wins. It's Boogie
Damn.
Let's go.
and Berserker for today. Let's check out the highlights to see how these guys won their players of the series. Another 4-game double 2-0
Yeah.
day. Just not the double 2-0s that we would have expected. Here's Series 1.
It also didn't necessarily feel like a double 2-0 day. This first game from C9 versus NRG was actually quite close. I did like a lot of things I saw from NRG in this. As we see, I believe this is the game losing team fight, sadly, where it's like, it's so close, right?
It really was.
And their early game looked a lot better. They were a lot more proactive.
Let's not look
was
at this
travesty.
one. Roll the tape to the next series.
Triple kill for
Oh,
Berserker
God.
level 1.
This is like you do this in scrims and then you just remake the game.
Yeah, because it feels bad at that point. Even if you do end up getting the kill on Lucian somehow, like your team is going to die no matter what. And then we didn't show this one, but then of course Tristana looks for another play because she has an advantage on Tristana, so tries to jump under turret, but then support is there. So you die both times. Was a tragic game.
Yeah.
Series 2 here, this was the Boogie show in game 1 on the brand because he really seemed to run the map, broke open the bot lane really easily in this game. And then game 2, if Shopify didn't close this out, it's like they win one game and immediately slam Pantheon Jhin. How embarrassing of a loss that would be, but they absolutely pulled it out. It was such an insane game.
I'm pulling up the chat right now. I got to know between the people in the chat if they believe it's Insanity or Boogie that got, like, who was the more influential of the series?
I was going to say, are you trying to take away?
Yes, of the series.
Are you trying to make a case for Jinsanity?
What? Is this
the one game that overpowers the series?
Okay.
You're trying to do it technically for the first game as well for Boogie. Boogie had 2 good games, to be fair.
Yeah, 2. Yeah.
He had 2 really good games.
Astronomical Jhin performance.
It was pretty great.
How many people agree with you?
We'll see. There's a bit of a delay.
If Insanity
Boogie
had won, I wouldn't have been.
I wouldn't have been unhappy.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, that's fair.
He had a good
either.
Zeri game in game 1 too.
It's actually a complete mix. It's a complete mix.
Okay,
and that's with
mix. Yes.
That's with you trying to poison
yeah,
the
you
well.
are trying.
I was
to
trying
get
my hard.
Jhin.
I was trying my
it's
hard.
Boogie.
So I respect you guys for putting out your. Now Boogie is actually just overpowering
Let's go.
the.
Let's go, chat.
Okay, that's
Good
fair.
job, chat.
The fair and balanced chat out there.
Shut Raz down. That's it for us.
Fair and balanced.
That's it for us here from the LCS Lounge. We'll be back tomorrow, normal time, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific. And for now, let's send it over to the LCS Challengers. See you over there.
Take it easy, guys. Have fun.
Okay. No flash on Azir. No flash on Azir. Flash in Italy. We can fight, guys. Yeah, you guys should try. I'm arrowing here. Nice. No flash, Neely. No flash, Neely.
I will TP soon.
Arrow, bro.
I will TP soon. I will TP soon.
Just no flash. She jumped.
Look me. Look Ash.
Ash,
No flash.
Cannon's in. Look, Cannon, no flash. We can finish that.
No flash.
Keep fighting.
Twist that flash. Jhin no flash.
Okay.
Rell will die.
Kill Jhin, no flash. We can speed you. I'm leaving.
Yo, still chill, okay? Still chill. If you guys make time, we're gonna ace them, okay? You guys won't have to die.
We're slowly coming. We're mega.
I think you guys just win.
Yeah, I think we just win.
Coming.
He has flash? Yeah, he has some.
I can reach.
My bad. GG.
There's some boost in there,
Keep fighting, guys.
I'm looking. I have E in 2.
She has no E. They have nothing.
Yeah, okay. Lily has 1. I have flash done in 2. I'm gonna flash
Look at me.
Yep, I'm looking. We can maybe end. The
first win. Shopify's back, man.
They got their first win.
Let's go.
In the history books just to make that happen, but he's got to survive the game, but he kills Jensen before Spica can get in range.
Free damage from the plants, from the bombs, from the Corki poke, and it results in a nice catch.
Killer Instinct found Spica on a wall. He's locked down, and Zven is gone. BVOY in there with the Killer Instinct. The Pyroclasm and the plants, that's a lot of circles. FakeGod leads the charge into the front line, and BVOY gets one. He's grinding up the last bullet, and it looks like it's just going to be, this is it. Where were you when Shopify picked up their first series win of the Summer Split? Move on over, Dig Season. It's time for Shopify Summer!